go to the Big Ten. We
Yeah.
talked about my over with Illinois. I think Justin was on that one as well. Under 10.5. Penn
Oregon.
State.
Don't say it, Jordan. Don't. Okay, I wish we were on cover 3 because we'd have a fight.
Yeah.
We'd have a fight.
For me here, there's a couple things that went into this, and I think there's a legit this is maybe too much juice at 164. Like, that's a lot to pay for a team that has a possibility of 1-11. But when you go, I think they play Oregon at home and they get at Ohio State. So you play the two best teams outside of you in the Big Ten, one on the road, one at home. Maybe there's a world that Oregon comes into Happy Valley and just can't match the physicality. But there's also a world that Dan Lanning is just another year at the helm, another year in the lab, just really getting this team really where he wants it. I think Oregon's going to be pretty damn good again. If you split those, Penn State loves to drop a football game that they're not supposed to in some spots. Like, I think that without the divisions, there's just a random one somewhere that could catch them. And so I'm not going to bet on this team to go 11-1, 12-0 when two of the top teams in the conference are on their schedule. So, maybe I'm a little incorrect in saying that they love to drop one every once in a while because they're pretty good at beating teams not named Ohio State or Michigan. But I do think that there's a real point in slippage here. Like, it's just one of those things for me. It's pure feel. Look at the schedule. We're way early. Is Aller really going to take a step up? The defense, how much better can it truly get? There's just some question marks here.
I'm kind of feel like a hypocrite when I'm talking about this team because of like what I've said about Drew Aller. And I feel like I was correct in saying that, in crunch time situations, he really struggled to make throws. And I said that going into the Notre Dame game, proved to be correct. So why would I trust him to take this team to be 11-1, 12-0?
Because they might be the best running team in the country.
Bingo. Top 5 in returning production. No Michigan. You do get Oregon at home. And I see both sides of the coin that Jordan just laid out. Like, can Oregon travel across the country and match them physically to go into Happy Valley and win? Or does Dan Lanning, have another master class, grooms another quarterback? We'll have to wait and see there. That's kind of why I give the edge to Penn State, because some of the uncertainty stuff we have with Oregon right now. And maybe that Oregon team's a lot better than what I think it is right now here in April.
Yeah.
But here's the last point. Jim Knowles, revenge game, Ohio State. There's one coach that Andy Kotelnicki just continued to struggle to call plays against. It's Jim Knowles. You now have him on your side, and you're taking on an Ohio State team who now has a brand new offensive coordinator, 2 young coaches. It's kind of like a offensive coordinator kind of thing. Maybe Ryan Day just decides to call plays by them because he's frustrated and it's not going the way he wants it to go.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Penn State just catches them at a right spot this time, and Drew Aller doesn't have to win the game. Maybe they do just win 13-10 like they did with Barkley. Right? They won in Columbus with Barkley that one year, years and years ago.
The last time they beat them was 2016 in Happy Valley, I believe.
Okay. Was it in Happy Valley? Okay.
Barkley was on that team, though.
Yeah, that was the one I was thinking of. So I like it, especially if you're getting plus 120. I kind of like it. So I'm glad we kind of killed 2 birds with one stone there. Good pull, Jordan.
It's a tough one because whenever you're taking a team to win 11 games, going over 10.5, you got to have a lot of confidence in that team. And if you look at the Big Ten last year, Penn State, Oregon, and Ohio State, those were 3 of the 5 best teams in the country last year. I'm not so sure that's going to be the same case this year. And all 3 of those teams play each other again this year, and they're all sitting at 10.5 win totals. I think if you're having a hard time going one way or the other, if you just take all 3 of those teams and take the under on all 3 of them, I think 2 of those are probably going to hit. Because even if they go 10-2, say one of those is going to go 11-1. I'm not sure any of those teams really has the potential to go 12-0, especially in an upgraded Big Ten. So if you see 2 of those teams going 10-2 and one of them going 11-1, that's still very realistic, and especially where I think the rest of the Big Ten's kind of improving as well with an upgraded Michigan. We touched on Nebraska. I think USC might be a little better. Iowa's offense should be a little better. There's a bunch of other. Illinois should be a little bit better. I think if you're looking at that, maybe look at taking all 3 unders. Could provide you a little bit of value there.
Does Penn State go to? No, Iowa goes to
Nope,
Penn
they're in
State this
Kinnick
year.
this year.
They do go to. Okay, they do go to Kinnick. Okay,
Because the Big Ten was very much like the haves, those 3 at the top, and then like the have-nots. I think the rest of the conference is going to catch up, and there's just a lot of unknowns with teams like Oregon and Ohio State, and people don't really want to bet on Penn State to be the best team in the conference. I would have a lot of hesitation doing that as well. So
I think Penn State's got the most familiarity right now, though, out of like all the teams. Like I think you know what you're going to get out of Penn State right now. Just
definitely
who they got back out of.
Yeah, if you
do
ran through the Big Ten,
trust that to go be the best.
Yeah,
that I don't know. That's a good
Running
question.
through the Big Ten with like quarterbacks that are returning, it's a pretty short list.
Yeah,
If you want to dive into that, it's a pretty short list.